And good morning, everyone. Welcome back. This is Morning Musings. My name is Kay Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And we've begun a series on the Temple of God. I was on the internet over the last few days. Well, I'm on the internet every day. And I just, on YouTube, I typed in Temple of God. My goodness gracious. There is just video after video after video claiming everything from they're already rebuilding the Jerusalem temple to the Jews are currently, through some kind of technology, dissolving the foundations of the Dome of the Rock so that they can rebuild the temple. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on that we're in the last days. The temple is about to be rebuilt. And look, I mean no disrespect. I mean no unkindness. But all of this is a lot of paranoia. It is a lot of excitement about nothing. What is or is not happening in Israel today has nothing to do with the fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Now, I know that'll upset a lot of people. I understand how passionately some people believe we're in the last days, prophecy is being fulfilled, the temple is just around the corner. But folks, it's simply not true. The Old Testament predicted many, many times in many prophecies the establishment of the Messianic Temple. One of the prophecies of that Messianic Temple is found in Isaiah chapters 2 through 4. Now, we're going to spend some time with Isaiah chapters 2 through 4. And this is critical because it gives us the time frame and to a great extent the nature, but most assuredly the framework for the establishment of the Messianic Temple. This morning's installment will simply take notice of when the temple was to be rebuilt. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2 and following. It shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established on the top of the mountains, shall be exalted above the hills. All nations shall flow to it. Many people shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. He will teach us his ways. We will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law. Now look, we could spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks just on these very, very few verses. But I want you to notice the time reference. It shall come to pass in the last days. Now, many people claim we are in the last days today. No, the last days were 2,000 years ago. Notice Hebrews chapter 1 verse 1 says, God who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past by the fathers, has in these last days spoken to us by his Son. Now here is the writer of Hebrews saying that 2,000 years ago, they were in the last days. Christ appeared in the last days. But notice Galatians 4 verse 4. In the fullness of time, and that more literally, more properly means at just the right time, when the time had reached its fullness. When the proper time had arrived, God sent forth his Son, now watch this, made of a woman, born under the law. So, this tells us Christ appeared in the last days. He appeared at just the right time. He appeared under the law. That's Torah. So the last days belongs to the last days of the law of Moses. It's not the last days of time. Hebrews 9:26 says, now once at the end of the ages, do you suppose the end of the age is the last days? Well, sure it is. Now, once at the end of the age, Christ has appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. So when we conflate all of these verses, Christ appeared at the end of the age. Well, guess what? He didn't appear at the end of the Christian age. He did not appear at the end of time. But he appeared at just the right time. He appeared under the law, and he appeared in the last days. The last days were the last days of the Old Covenant age. But Isaiah said, in the last days, the Messianic Temple would be established. As we are going to see, that Messianic Temple, based on Isaiah, Malachi, Jeremiah, Zechariah, that Messianic Temple would be radically different in form, nature, and function than the Old Covenant Temple. But here we have the divine time frame for the building of the Messianic Temple, the last days, and the the New Testament tells us the last days were 2,000 years ago, and the last days were the last days of the Old Covenant. Now look, I cover this and a whole lot more in my book, Like Father, Like Son, on Clouds of Glory. Go to my website, www.eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com. Order the book. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I will pay shipping if you are in the United States. Unfortunately, I cannot make this offer for those, outside the United States. It's just, shipping is more than the price of the book. So if you'll help me with shipping, I'll be glad to sell you the book. But cannot do that for out of the U.S. Shipping. All right? Order the book, Continental U.S., I'll pay shipping. All right? Order the book. You'll be amazed at what you see about the temple of God. Hey, man, we got a ton more. We'll see you on the flip side.